soccer is back in Jax. Get your Armada season tickets now, with seats starting at just $10. Interest-free payment plans available.
Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye and Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Welcome into Armada Kickoff. Jacksonville now 2-1 in the preseason and undefeated at home after a 1-0 victory over fellow NASL side Ft.Lauderdale. We have highlights and reaction from the match.
We'll also take a closer look at the play of goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo. And our man of the match, Pascal Million. Also, Bob Veal looks at what kept the Armada from an even bigger win. And, of course, the Analyst Roundtable.
Plus, the Kraken. But let's start with highlights from Saturday's christening of Community First Park as a soccer pitch. Ft.Lauderdale figures to be one of the rivals for the Armada in this inaugural season. Geography has something to do with that. So does the success of the Strikers from a year ago. They made it all the way to the championship finals. And the similar styles the two sides want to play should also make things intriguing. Both sides coached by Argentinians. Both want to play aggressive, attacking soccer. And Saturday, we saw that. It was a cold, misty, clammy night, but over 5,000 supporters braved the elements to root on the Armada. You can see the rain coming down just before kickoff. Coaches trying to stay dry and warm early on. And it was Miguel Gallardo heating it up in goal. This would be a trend as Gallardo made some big saves, particularly in the first half against the Strikers' attack. This would also be a trend. Defender Shawn Nicklaw getting forward. He tries to connect with Jamal Johnson here, but David Nasco collects it for Ft.Lauderdale. We are goalless 20 minutes in. Big chance for the Strikers here in the 35th minute. Soft pass by Gallardo, and Ali Alberto Hassan tries to chip the goalkeeper, but a save by Gallardo. Offside flag was up as well. Then final moments of the first half. Off a corner kick, Lucas Trejo plays one toward the 6-yard box. Nasco misjudges it, and who's there to put it in but Shawn Nicklaw in the 45th minute to give the Armada a 1-0 lead. Take another look. Watch Nicklaw come from the left of your screen. He is unmarked. Nobody even shoots a glance his way, and he's right on the spot to do something about it. A chance for the Armada to celebrate a 1-0 lead at halftime. Second half, scary moment here in the 65th minute. Gallardo, watch him as he knocks down the shot, but Ft.Lauderdale striker slides into his leg. Gallardo would go down, you see there, in some concern and pain. Gallardo thought it was a more serious injury than it turned out to be. Let's take another look. Gallardo would walk off under his own power. It was a scary moment, though, for sure. Look at the collision right on the right shin. Gallardo able to get up for a moment. Did walk off under his own power. Should be good to go Sunday against Charleston. The Armada protect the 1-0 lead, and that would be the score at full time. General Manager Dario Sala, co-head coach Guillermo Hoyos can celebrate the first ever match at Community First Park and the first ever match and victory for the Armada against an NASL opponent.
There's a team effort, so you know what it is, as a player, you got to step up and then try to do your job for the team. But I give the credit to the team. So without them, that won't be possible.
I've always dreamed about playing in front of my friends, family, like people that I know. Like last year I was in Arizona, so I don't have any friends over there. I'll try to make some friends, but it feels good to be in front of friends, family, and be in my hometown.
Take a look at some of the stats from Saturday night. The Armada now 2-1 of the preseason. Actually, Ft.Lauderdale had more shots, but shots on goal pretty close. The Armada did have some opportunities on corners, and Lucas Scaglia picked up the yellow card, but it's the preseason. Those yellow cards do not roll over, do not go forward to the following match. The Armada, a 1-0 victory over Ft.Lauderdale.
Our man of the match last week against the Ft.Lauderdale Strikers didn't go to the goal scorer. Instead, we chose forward Pascal Million. He was a key player in the Armada's offense on Saturday night. As you can see, he had several good runs, showed some great footwork, and created significant plays for his teammates. Million is a member of the Haitian national team, and just this week he was called back up to the team, and he'll be traveling to China later this month to play for Haiti.
Million wasn't alone in his strong play. Shawn Nicklaw scored the only goal of the match. Matt Boehner continued to play strong at center back, and Miguel Gallardo got it done in goal. Gallardo is going to be one of the more important players on the roster. With the risk-reward system the Armada has employed, he'll be needed to stand out. Gallardo told me he likes what he's seen so far.
I'm definitely happy with where we are right now. We've been working really hard physically, more importantly, more than tactically. We faced a couple of very tough opponents and we've managed to come out with the victory. But, you know, it gives us confidence, but at the same time, it doesn't make us comfortable, if that makes any sense. We know that our main objective is April 4th and also to win a championship. And right now, the most important thing is that game, April 4th, to start building towards that championship.
And while a lot of attention gets paid to the goal scorers, it's been the Armada's defense that has shown this preseason, allowing only 2 goals in 3 preseason matches. Some of that comes from facing very talented goal scorers in practice every day.
Yeah, I mean, we got guys at a top level. You know, these guys are finishing just like, you know, anywhere else in the world. So, you know, for us to be able to practice with guys like this, it just, you know, gives you confidence knowing that you're going to face an opponent that probably has some good players as well, but maybe not as good or not better than the ones that we face on a daily basis of practice.
During the Fort Lauderdale match, Gallardo went down in the second half and was concerned that the injury might be worse than it turned out to be.
Well, I was scared because I had that type of injury before that kept me out for a few weeks. And when I first felt the impact, it kind of felt a little bit the same. So it just brought back, you know, with like flashbacks. And so I was praying that it wasn't that, but thankfully it was just a hit. You know, it was a pretty hard tackle, but, you know, I'm okay and I'm ready to go for next game.
And with Charleston looming on Sunday, will the Armada be seeking revenge after losing 1-0 in Charleston 2.5 weeks ago?
For us, there are no friendly games. We do take different games and work on different objectives. I'm sure this game coming up is the main objective is not going to be to win, but it's going to be to work on different things. But hopefully, working on those things will lead you to get a W.
Almost every seat was sold on Saturday night, but the weather played a significant role. Still, over 5,000 fans packed Community First Park on a night that was, well, cold, rainy, and very windy. There are several matches coming up for the Armada, so if you didn't make it last Saturday night, your next chance is this Sunday against the Charleston Battery. Then on March 28th, they go against in-state rivals Tampa Bay Rowdies. And of course, on April 4th is the much-anticipated season home opener at Everbank Fields against FC Edmonton. And all this talk about fans and upcoming matches, but did anyone see the gigantic Kraken on Saturday night? That's right, this Kraken made its debut at Community First Park during the first half with some wind and rain. It's going to need a name, so we might need some help with that.
This week, 2 Armada players learned that they would be representing their countries in international play. Pascal Million, as we mentioned earlier, and Armada right back Shawn Nicklaw, the goal scorer from Saturday night. He'll be traveling at the end of the month this month. Krissty Andaur has more.
Nicklaw got the call this week. He'll be representing Guam on that country's national team later this month in Hong Kong.
It was good. You know, it's always fun to represent your country. You know, we're going out there and playing Hong Kong in a friendly, preparing for the World Cup qualifiers later this summer. And, you know, we're just looking to prepare mentally and physically and tactically out there.
And it's with that preparation and determination that Shawn scored the one and only goal of Saturday night at Community First Park.
It was special, you know, not only for me, but also for the club. You know, we can tell the teammates came around me, and it was a special moment for everybody.
As Shawn and the Armada look ahead, it's the Charleston Battery, which he hopes ends a little better than last time.
Yeah, you know, we got to take it back at him, but, you know, still in the preseason, we're working on some things with the team, and, you know, we're just trying to prepare for April 4th. So one game at a time. Right now it's Charleston this weekend.
And if you've seen some of the action for the Armada and you just can't wait to jump out there, this is a great way to do it. The double-header deal, 2 matches for one price. Choose either the Charleston Battery match on Sunday or the March 28th matchup against Tampa Bay Rowdies at Everbank Field, and add in the NASL opener against FC Edmonton. Who knows, the numbers could be very large as far as attendance for that one. Get those matches for as low as $25 per person. Coming up, we'll take a look around the NASL, check out how some of the other teams in the league have done this preseason, and we'll get to know the Ottawa Fury, one of 2 NASL clubs in Canada.
We'll also take a look at Bob's Bootroom to discuss the little improvements the Armada is looking to make by the start of the season. That's next on Armada Kickoff.
The regular season is fast approaching. You'll want to get your season tickets now. And the best way to do that is by calling 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. From just $10 a match, interest-free monthly payment plan as well, makes it absolutely easy. And if you buy a 3-year season ticket, you get a personalized brick at the permanent Armada FC Stadium. One of the big questions that everybody seemed to be asking before Saturday's match was how the field changeover was going to work. Well, it worked very well. The grounds crew did a terrific job turning the baseball grounds into Community First Park for the first soccer match in the history of the building. After Sunday, they'll change it back for baseball until the next Armada match at Community First Park, which is in May. The NASL has been enjoying quite an impressive preseason. It all started with the Armada victory over the Philadelphia Union. Then, last week, Minnesota United matched U.S. Open Cup champions, the Seattle Sounders of the MLS. Check out this goal from Miguel Gallardo. The match ended in a 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Rowdies traveled to Portugal, where they won their first 2 matches of the trip there. It's shaping up to be an impressive collection of talent and coaching in the North American Soccer League. Let's spend a minute on another of the NASL sides, the Ottawa Fury.
The Fury made their NASL debut last season, finishing 6th in the spring table, 9th in the fall. Ottawa returns their Player of the Year, Richie Ryan, this season. He was a midfielder, as well as their leading scorer, Brazilian striker Oliver. They began their inaugural season playing at a college park while their new home was being renovated, and when they debuted at TD Place Stadium at Lansdowne Park, they set a North American League Soccer attendance record, drawing 14,593 against the New York Cosmos. Of course, preseason training in Ottawa can be a little tricky. Check out what the Fury do to stay sharp during the winter. The Armada host Ottawa June 7th and October 21st and travel to the Canadian capital to begin the fall season on July the 5th. We don't expect snow for that one.
Now let's head to Bob's Boot Room, presented by Nike. Here are Bob Veal and Krissty Andaur.
Thanks, Cole. Bob, what a great win it was for the Armada last Saturday against the Strikers. And I know you mentioned there were some key moments where the Armada offense just didn't finish and we could have gotten some more goals. Will you take us through some of those?
Yes, certainly. It was a good win for us, and a good win at home and a shutout, which is always good for us. Now, let me take you through the first instant I saw that the ball didn't get quite in the right place. So Milan's out here, Million's out here, and he's running with the ball, and he flicks it back to Shawn Nicklaw, who's coming in on a run. Now, Shawn Nicklaw runs in here, and what he's trying to do is to put the ball as an in-swinger onto somebody running in. And he put it a little bit too far, goalkeeper collected it. And there were a lot of balls that just missed us, were either a little bit in front, a little bit behind. There was a cross, again, from Million, from the outside again, a lot of plays down the right. And passed it in, Jamal Johnson coming in, again, a little bit too far forward, Jamal Johnson can't get to it, and the goalkeeper collects it. Again, if that had been 5 yards this way, now you've got defenders coming out as well, he has a better chance to get on the ball. And again from the right-hand side. And Million coming in again, puts a great ball in, but just over the head of Marcus Flores, who's making the run, coming up to head it. It's just outside of him. He can't reach it. Big defender comes in here, bangs it out, and gets a head on it, bangs it out into safe play. Now, there are a lot of, and let's have a look at that.
Sure.
And this is early games for them. This is the pre-season, we must remember that. And these connections, they're not quite getting into the right position, a little bit too far back. As we progress in training, the understanding, this is Marcus Flores' first game, the understanding between Shawn Nicklaw coming through and Pascal Million on the outside and Flores doing what he does, which is the holding center in the midfield, that will get so much better.
Right, so hopefully we see some more connection out in Charleston Battery on Sunday.
I think a lot more. Now we've got to cater back.
Right.
Let's look at the options.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bob. Cole?
All right, thanks, guys. Straight ahead, Andy Kidd and Mauricio Ruiz join me for the Analyst Roundtable. What do we make of the preseason success of the North American Soccer League? And what's coming next for the Armada? We'll discuss it as Armada Kickoff rolls on.
The Armada Social Rewards program is a great way to stay connected with the team via social media. Why not get rewarded for being active on social media like most of us already are? Just go online at armadasocialrewards.com, create an account, and start earning free stuff like jerseys, scarves, and even tickets to future matches. All you have to do is mention the Armada using your social media, like, tweet, tag, and earn prizes. It's simple enough, right? Well, each week we pick a random winner and prize. This week's winner is Josh Jacobson. Congratulations, you've won 2 tickets to the Tampa Bay Rowdies match on March 28th. And thanks for keeping up with the Armada via social media. And now let's head over to the Analyst Roundtable. Cole?
All right, thank you, Krissty. Time for our Analyst Roundtable, joined by Andy Kidd and Mauricio Ruiz. Let's talk first about Saturday's match against the Ft.Lauderdale Strikers, a 1-0 victory for the Armada. What stood out from the Armada side?
Well, I think we're as aggressive as we are offensively. I think we forget to talk about how good defensively we are as well. I mean, we're not giving up a lot of goals. I mean, that's the second game that we're, it's a 1-0 game, but we're not blowing anybody out, but we're certainly not getting blown out. And we talked about how young we are in the back, but we have a fantastic goalkeeper in the back that's keeping everything. I mean, he's being very active, but it's a shutout. It's a shutout, and you take it.
2 goals allowed in 3 preseason matches. It's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely. Mauricio hit the nail on the head. You've got Matt Boehner in the back. You got Gallardo in the back. You got those guys starting to establish roles, and they're starting to get some solidarity back there where the guys are playing together and working off each other and covering for each other. So even when we are building out of the back, we may turn the ball over a couple of times in the defensive third, they're covering for each other really well. And so, yeah, you're able to preserve a shutout that way and win a 1-0 game, which is huge for us to hold on and get that W.
If you don't give up a goal, you're not going to lose many games.
That's right. That's right.
How about Charleston? Last time the Armada went up to Charleston, lost 1-0. What do they want to get done on Sunday?
Well, I think it's going to be neat to see how we play against them without having as heavy a legs. As you get further in the preseason, the coaches aren't running them as much because we're starting to get ready for that first game. So I think it'll be neat to see how we match up with them with fresh legs and everybody there. I think Keita's going to be there, so that'll be exciting to see and see how we do our lineup there.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how we learn from a team that we just played. I think every time you play someone, you learn a little bit more about yourself, and certainly learn a little bit more about your opponent. So I think this is going to be the first team that we're going to see for the second time. It's a tight game up there in front of their crowd. Now it's going to be here. Tables have turned a little bit, and I think we'll take the momentum from this past weekend and we'll carry that on.
This will also be the first and only game of the preseason where all 4 of the guys who have started up front will be available. Pascal Million, Keita, who missed the last game with a little bit of an injury, Marcos Flores, and Jamal Johnson will all be available. Going to be interesting to see how they're utilized.
Well, and I think that's the interesting thing, how Flores is emerging now in the second game playing. I think we fell in love with Keita here, at Everbank when we played the Union. Now he wasn't in the lineup the next 2 games, and then all of a sudden he gets, and then you get Flores coming in, and then he's playing well. Right. He gives a completely different dynamic. We're still extremely dynamic, even though he's more of a ball holder up top. I think the coaches have a really good problem at hand.
Absolutely, and hats off to the front office because they've given us depth up front. We're going to talk, I think, a little bit about these guys getting called up to possible national team appearances, and when one of those guys goes, you've got somebody that can plug right in. So from a coaching standpoint, you're thanking your front office for giving you all these weapons.
Well, let's go to that. You've got Pascal Million, who's going to miss some time for the Armada while he's getting time with the Haitian national team later this month. And Shawn Nicklaw with Guam, same situation. Is it good or bad for the Armada to have guys who have this, getting called up for their national teams?
I think it can only be good. You've got guys that are going to go play, represent their national team, play at a high level. It sends a message to the rest of your players that you've got high-level talent that's worthy to play on the international stage. It sends a message to the rest of the league as well. I mean, Minnesota loves having Ibarra on their roster that he's playing for the U.S. national team. I think it can only help, and it raises the profile of the Armada, in my opinion.
And I think it gives credit to the players as well. It's like the fact that we touched on players that are capable of playing on international duty. When they come back with a new experience, with a different life to them, and hopefully they infuse that within the program. Now, having players to replace them, that's the question. With Pascal, I think we see in the front 4, but now, with Nicklaw, who's going to step in? It's an opportunity for other guys to step in as well. So as you have talent within your roster, it only creates a little bit of an opportunity for other guys that maybe aren't seeing that many minutes.
It's that constant battle of a club and country that a lot of guys really have to deal with. Andy Kidd, Mauricio Ruiz, thanks so much. Thank you. All right, when we come back, we'll take another look at the highlights from Saturday's Armada victory. Stick around. More to come right here on Armada Kickoff.
Spring season half packs are now on sale. It's just for $12 a match. It includes 1 preseason match and all 5 home spring matches. Just call 1-844-2-ARMADA or armadafc.com.
And a reminder, the best way to stay up to date on the very latest with the Armada every Friday on radio, on Sports Radio 930. Bob Veal and I host. Krissty Andaur has the NASL report. That's at 3 o'clock every Friday on Sports Radio 930. Sunday's match against Charleston is radio only, no TV broadcast for this one. 4 o'clock for kickoff, 3:30 for our pre-match coverage on Sports Radio 930.
And don't forget, it is daylight savings, so put your clocks ahead and don't be late for the pre-match party. It starts at 1.
Spring forward, and we'll be springing forward as the Armada season continues to get closer and closer. We'll have all the highlights of that one next week right here on Armada Kickoff. For now, let's leave you with the highlights from this past Saturday's match, the victory by the Armada over the Ft.Lauderdale Strikers. I'm Cole Pepper.
I'm Krissty Andaur. We'll see you guys next week.
Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Ft.Lauderdale Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.